In ancient Japanese legend, there's a town said to be cursed. Every 50 years, a demon returns to possess one person, turning them into a ruthless killer who unleashes terror upon the entire city. Only a handful of people know this history, and only someone truly brave would dare to stop it. Set in the city of Shinjo, the story opens at the home of a powerful Yakuza boss who's just received bad news. One of his business partners has decided to hire someone else for protection. Rather than confronting the partner directly, the boss vents his anger by summoning one of his men to step forward. At that very moment, outside the house, a mysterious figure begins silently taking down the guards one by one. Blood soon drips from an upstairs window. By the time the gang realizes something's wrong, it's too late. The boss is rushed away for safety. That mysterious figure is Sakata, a legendary hitman known as the Demon of Shinjo. He always works alone and has never failed a mission. After cutting down the weaker guards, Sakata now faces the boss's personal bodyguard, a massive man skilled in martial arts. But brute strength and fighting skills aren't enough. Sakata slices off the guard's arm with his machete and heads straight to the boss's room. The once intimidating boss is now visibly shaken. Whatever cruelty he once projected vanishes the moment he sees someone even more terrifying. With no hesitation, Sakata kills him. This mission, it turns out, is Sakata's final one. He's ready to retire. His longtime friend and handler, Akira, had arranged the job. Sakata now has a small family and wants to live a peaceful life away from bloodshed. At home, his daughter runs up to greet him with a hug, followed by his loving wife. It's the kind of normal life Sakata had always dreamed of, safe, quiet, and free from violence. But just as he finishes his shower and prepares to join his family, a group of masked men suddenly ambushes the house. Sakata fights back, but he's overwhelmed, especially once they target his family. Their leader, known only as Master, wears a horned demon mask. He thanks Sakata for wiping out all the Yakuza groups in the city. With all threats now gone, Shinjo can finally become a peaceful city. However, there's still one threat left: Sakata himself. The masked men kill Sakata's wife and daughter, who were innocent and knew nothing of his past. But they had become witnesses, and witnesses had to be eliminated. With nothing left to live for, Sakata makes a silent vow to one day return and destroy them all. But at this moment, he's powerless. A single shot is fired straight into his head.
全員殺す。待ってるよ。
12 years later, shockingly, Sakata is still alive. The bullet he took that night didn't kill him, but it left him paralyzed, damaging delicate nerves in his brain. The one person most responsible for saving Sakata's life was Akira, who arrived just in time to rush him to the hospital. Even after all these years, with no reward or recognition, Akira remains loyal. He continues to care for Sakata, giving him a modest home and hiring a full-time caregiver to look after him daily. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to a press conference held by Mayor Sunohara. It's been 12 years since he took office and turned Shinjo into a safer, better city. He now unveils his latest project, a luxurious tourist resort featuring a cinema, restaurants, casino, and more, meant to boost the city's economy for the greater good.
ワンストップの理想郷。それがまほろばです。
During the Q&A session, a brave journalist steps forward, questioning the alarming number of missing persons reported under Sunahara's leadership. Caught off guard, Sunahara tries to deflect, asking, "Where's the proof?" The moderator quickly shuts down the session. That journalist's data came from a former Yakuza member, paid to leak confidential information. In truth, Sunahara is far from the honorable leader people believe him to be. Horrifying secrets hide behind his polished image, and the journalist is determined to expose everything.
Huh?
But before he can, a masked man in a red demon mask shatters a car window and chases him down, murdering him in cold blood. Moments later, another man wearing an old man mask appears, forcing the ex-Yakuza to kneel and shove a pistol into his mouth, erasing the only person who could have verified the journalist's claims. Back with Sakata, he's being pushed in a wheelchair for a quiet night walk by his caregiver. Suddenly, a man stabs him from behind. It's the former bodyguard whose arm Sakata severed years ago. But upon realizing Sakata is now paralyzed and has no memory of the past, the bodyguard spares his life and leaves him lying there.
Huh?
Sakata is rushed to the hospital, placed under police protection with 2 officers guarding him. A well-known police captain in Shinjo slips money to the guards, telling them to grab some food, just so he can be alone with Sakata.
久しぶりだな、坂田。気の毒にこんな体になってしまう。
Standing near Sakata's bed, the captain confirms it's really him. This captain is no ordinary cop. He was one of the masked attackers from 12 years ago. He was the man behind the old man mask who had murdered the ex-Yakuza earlier. Seeing the face of one of his family's killers, Sakata's eyes suddenly move. His fingers twitch. Something inside him snaps. Two officers return, startled to see their captain wearing a mask. While helping lift Sakata back into bed, the captain grabs one officer's gun and kills him. The officer he kills is an honest cop, someone who might have exposed him. The other, still loyal to the captain, remains silent. Just then, a doctor walks by and sees everything from outside. They invite him in. What happens next is chilling. But then, Sakata strikes. Despite being only 60% recovered, Sakata catches them off guard and launches a brutal counterattack. Using whatever he can find in the hospital room, he tries to strangle the captain with an IV tube, and when that fails, he grabs a curtain, and what happens next is explosive. With one of his family's killers finally dead, a bloodied but determined Sakata limps toward the door, just as Akira arrives to pick him up. We then shift to the drug factory owned by the master, which is currently run by one of his lieutenants, a man known simply as the manager, who wears a one-horned demon mask. He's just received word that Sakata is still alive and may be coming for revenge. The master doesn't just contact the manager. He also warns another subordinate known as the Wolf, who's in charge of inspecting and coordinating incoming goods from out of town. The Wolf, full of confidence and arrogance, is in the middle of seducing a woman when he receives the call. Instead of worrying, he boasts that he will be the one to take Sakata down first. And here comes a shocking twist. The master also contacts Akira. It turns out Akira had been involved in the betrayal 12 years ago. He had been paid to leak Sakata's identity and personal details, directly leading to the massacre of Sakata's wife and daughter. All the help he gave afterward over the years. It was his way of atoning for his betrayal. Following orders from the master, Akira shoots Sakata from behind, seemingly killing him. Akira and his assistant then transport Sakata's body to the drug factory, where the manager awaits. After confirming the body is real, they dump Sakata's corpse onto a conveyor belt, ready to be destroyed with other waste. But then, Sakata suddenly rises. He was playing dead the entire time. This whole act was part of a plan, secretly aided by Akira, who had finally chosen to stand with his old friend. However, the manager has been watching everything through the security monitors. He immediately calls the front gate guards and orders them to kill Akira and his assistant. We catch a glimpse of Akira, still alive, but for now, the focus shifts to Sakata as he brutally eliminates every guard inside the factory. Once the bloodbath is over, Sakata heads straight for the control room where the manager usually operates. But the manager is already outside, holding a detonator in his hand. With a single push, the factory explodes in a massive fireball. And the manager calls the master to report that Sakata is finally dead. But not long after, Sakata emerges from the flames, wrapped in a heavy fireproof cloth, barely scorched. Akira, injured and barely standing, appears just in time to ram the manager with a car, knocking him unconscious. Bleeding and weak, Akira confesses everything, how he betrayed Sakata all those years ago. Without hesitation, Sakata shoots him mid-sentence, finally ending it. The scene moves to an old abandoned ship, where Sakata interrogates the manager, demanding the names of everyone involved in the death of his family. But suddenly, the manager's phone rings. It's the master. Hearing Sakata's voice on the other end, the master coldly replies with a chilling revelation. Sakata's biological daughter is still alive. She's been secretly raised for the past 12 years by none other than the wolf, who pretended to be her real father. And if that wasn't enough, here comes another major twist. The master's true identity is revealed. He is none other than Mayor Tsunehara himself, the respected public figure who has carefully crafted a perfect image while hiding a dark, horrifying truth beneath it. Sakata beats the manager to death, leaving nothing but a bloodied corpse. We are then introduced to Ryo, Sakata's daughter, now a teenager. She's grown into a talented young woman with a love for archery, even winning several local competitions. But the man she knows as her father, the wolf, has sinister intentions. He pretends to be caring and protective, but is secretly waiting for the moment she's old enough to satisfy his twisted desires.
Ryo, 気をつけてな。
Meanwhile, Sakata visits an old informant, seeking any information that could lead him to the wolf's current location. Wasting no time, Sakata heads straight to the wolf's residence. There, he finds photos of his daughter, Ryo, from childhood to her teenage years. Just as Sakata is overcome with emotion, the wolf walks in, and Sakata, consumed with rage, immediately attacks him. But then Ryo appears, bow in hand, arrow drawn, ready to protect the wolf, the man she believes is her real father. Even as Sakata locks eyes with her, looking deeply into the eyes of his own daughter, Ryo releases the arrow, striking him in the shoulder. Wounded, Sakata flees the scene with the arrow still embedded. As he escapes, one of the master's men, the Red Demon Mask, appears and kidnaps Ryo, planning to use her as leverage. Meanwhile, the master calls Sakata directly, inviting him to his newly built luxury resort to settle everything once and for all.
大きくなってたろう。あの子に。
Bleeding and still in pain, Sakata refuses to treat his wound. Instead, he returns to his old safe house, the place he once used when he was still an active assassin. Inside, he finds a variety of weapons and gear. But Sakata chooses only his favorite machete and his signature leather jacket. At the resort, he tricks the outer guards with a decoy, an empty car, while he enters through another path and takes out the guards one by one in silence. But that was only the beginning. As he climbs the stairs, wave after wave of enemies comes for him, dozens upon dozens. Sakata, though wounded and exhausted, fights them all off with brutal efficiency. Eventually, he reaches a hallway, but suddenly, the wolf reappears, ordered by the master to stop Sakata. Their fight is quick. The wolf simply isn't on Sakata's level. He's no match for the legendary hitman. After finishing the wolf, Sakata, now clearly worn down, limps toward the elevator that leads straight to the top floor. After killing over 100 people in a single night, Sakata still didn't lose his spirit at all. But as he approaches the room where Ryo is being held, he's ambushed. He awakens in the exact same position his family had been in 12 years ago. Nearby, Ryo is held hostage, her life hanging by a thread. The master, revealed to be Mayor Sunahara, now appears, sword in hand, threatening to behead her. Before doing so, the mayor explains his grand vision. He claims that everything he's done, no matter how extreme, was for the good of the city. He wanted to make Shinjo a model city, free from gangs and crime. To achieve that, he used brutal tactics, hiring assassins like Sakata to wipe out the Yakuza, executing businessmen who refused to cooperate, and funneling drug money into public infrastructure. Anyone who stood in his way was eliminated. And then comes his final justification. As foretold at the beginning of the story, a demon returns to Shinjo every 50 years, possessing someone to unleash mass bloodshed. The mayor, Sunahara, believes that Sakata is that demon, the one responsible for all the chaos. So to truly purify the city, he must not only eliminate the criminals, but be the one to defeat the demon himself. After revealing his twisted dream for the future, the master raised his sword, ready to behead Ryo. But suddenly, the informant burst in, firing wildly. Chaos exploded, just like 12 years ago. Sakata shouted, telling his daughter to run. With Ryo safe, Sakata was free to fight. But his enemy this time was the Red Demon, a fearsome warrior unlike anyone he had ever faced. Sakata was overwhelmed, beaten down. Then, a memory of his wife's face flashed in his mind, calm, loving. It awakened something buried deep inside. With a scream, he rose again. Fueled by 12 years of pain, Sakata unleashed a brutal counterattack. Eventually, the Red Demon fell, and as the mask was pulled off, it revealed a horrible truth. The Red Demon was the Master's twin, his face scarred by fire. The true Master calmly put on his white demon mask. The final battle began. The Master was faster, crueler, and with a single strike, severed Sakata's left arm. Covered in blood and barely conscious, Sakata still refused to die. Driven by vengeance, he rose once more and landed the killing blow. Just as he collapsed, Ryo returned. Her memories had returned too, but a gunshot rang out. The wolf was still alive. Pretending to be her father, he begged for sympathy. But Sakata, barely alive, stabbed him from behind, ending his lies forever. Then, he embraced Ryo one last time before dying in her arms. Not long after, the police stormed in. The Master, gravely injured, smiled as he was taken away. A year passed. To everyone's shock, the Master won re-election. But the truth was chilling. It wasn't him. It was his twin, the Red Demon, who had survived and taken his brother's identity.
目前に迫っています。
あの一連の事件で亡くなった死の関係者全員の悲願でした。
Following in his brother's footsteps, the new mayor visits a temple to perform the same dark ritual his twin once did. But this time, he isn't alone. Without him realizing it, Ryo appears. Fueled by vengeance for the death of both her parents, she confronts him and ends the Red Demon's legacy once and for all. And with that, the film ends.